Hello, everybody. This is Football Psych, and I'm Coach Mad Mike.
It is Large Sarge!
Well, let's welcome. Tonight, we are going to be without good old Shaq. Unfortunately, he's got a golf tournament with his son, and that is more important. And I'm glad that he's going to do this very first golf tournament that he's doing with his son. So, Shaq,
Very cool.
we love you, brother. Spend some time with your son. We will catch you next week.
Absolutely.
So, you and me, Large Sarge.
Oh, yeah, you're raw.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about football. Football!
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
And we got so much to do to talk about. I mean, we're still trying to figure out what Adam Peters is going to do with this team. You got comments. I got comments. The fans got comments. So we really want to hear from everybody out there. Hey, this is a participation sport. So make sure that you make your comments in the comment section. I even have a banner on that. Let me put this banner up.
Yeah, put the banner up.
That's so people know. This is a participation sports channel. This by leaving your comments and questions so we can look forward to share with you during this part of this live show. We are live, baby, and we want to make sure that we hear what you guys have to say. And we value your input. So make sure you do that, and we will respond to you during the show.
Hey,
so
I got to interject there, Coach. I got to interject. I want more. I want more than you just responding here. If you're going to be on our channel, put in the comment block your email address so we can add you to our email list so you get notification of our shows. All right. I really like to build this list out. I've only got about 60 people on it right now, and we don't have 60 viewers. We get about a tenth of that. So I'm looking to build that up. So if you're out there and you're watching, please drop your email address in the comments block, and I'll make sure you're added to our weekly email.
Yeah, and write that down into the chat there as well, Large Sarge. So for people when they come on, they can read it. Because we are going to be adding so many other shows that are not going to be on regularly scheduled times. So like this show will remain on Mondays, but like as we get additional shows, and we want to put them in there, we don't want you to be without them, right? We kind of want to know if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. But we want to at least give you the opportunity to be able to catch our shows when we have them out there at other times during the week. All right. With that being said, Jack, welcome aboard. A great fan, Jack. All right.
Woo-hoo!
I'm feeling lively tonight, Lord Sarge. You want to know why?
Why is that?
I'm wearing my Super Bowl ring.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I'm feeling,
all right.
I'm feeling like this could be a year for us, baby.
All right, you got to tell everyone where you got that thing. You got to tell everyone where you got it.
I got it at the, what was the Chantilly memorabilia card show. What was that called, man?
Oh, dear Lord. It was a football general event where all the pros come in and do signings and stuff like that, and they had a card show going on at the same time. It was a sports memorabilia show.
Yeah, so I got this Super Bowl ring. It cost me $25 because it's pure 24 karat fake gold. And it's got diamonds, completely glass diamonds. And it's from the 1992 Super Bowl. And I started looking at it, and I realized that this is a Mark Ripken ring. So I guess it's a replica of Mark Ripken's ring.
Oh, my Lord.
So I had to wear it. So, anyway, we are getting into the show now. Football Psych, baby. We have some of the key NFL dates, and we are smack dab in the middle of the annual leagues meeting. We got rule changes. I don't necessarily want to talk about the rule changes because none of them seem ultimately newsworthy. I read through the list. I'm like, so what?
What? What do you mean? Oh, none of them are newsworthy. What?
Nah, I'm not really like, A lot of them had to do with like additional instant replay rules for like penalties and stuff. It's just kind of a snoozer thing. I almost fell asleep while I was reading it.
Oh man, what about moving the guys up 5 yards?
No, they're not doing
5
that.
yards.
Not even voting on that. They're not.
Yeah, they are voting on moving them back 5 yards. Apparently.
Moving who back 5 yards?
The defending team, so there could be more of a run up, more of that,
whatever.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest.
I don't think that's going to be.
And the Lions are pushing for it, actually.
Yeah, Lions are losers. Like, I don't want to hear that mess. That's not going to work. Like, there's a couple of different rules that are out there. If you guys want to do it, you guys want to talk about it, say so in the comments section. We'll add it next week. Because then by next week, we'll know what actually got approved or not. So there's nothing big. I know Jack put it on there about the push tush, that kind of thing, about where that's going to be. We'll see what happens with that. I have mixed feelings of whether or not it should go away or not. I know teams can stop it. I know the teams whine because we can't stop that. Okay, well, that's not anybody else's job to stop it but yours.
It can be stopped, and it has been stopped.
You know, you got to freaking come up with a game plan for that. So when you see someone line up for it, you can stop it. It's mad
my skins to get 3 penalties in a row and trying to stop it. That was amazing.
I love that.
If you do that one more time, we're going to call a penalty on you for we don't know what it is, but it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah. That's where the referees were making up stuff on the spot, man. You can't get any better than that.
Unbelievable.
So anyway, we are in those meetings right now. They are currently going on as we speak. We're in the middle, and they're in Palm Beach, Florida. I thought about crashing the party, but I got stuff to do, man. I couldn't swing on over there to do that, but Palm Beach isn't that far from me. So anyway, in April, off-season programs begin April 21st for some of those guys to come back. That's just conditioning. That's showing up, putting stuff back in your locker.
Right.
But the real big thing right now is ramping up to the NFL draft that this year is going to be in Wisconsin. Good old Green Bay. Whew. Are you going?
Man, I'm going to tell you honestly, I'm this close to being there. I am so close. I am trying to work out. I'm putting in extra hours at the shop to get a little bit of money saved up and count up my hotel points and my airline points. And I think I can pull it off. And I think I'm going.
Okay. Well, we're going to do that. All right. Let's get into current.
I think I am. We'll see.
All right. So I know that some of these charts, I heard some fans say this last week, that sometimes some of these charts are hard to read. Like if you're trying to look at this on your phone, it's probably a hard to do category. Right. So we'll try to tell you what's on the slides, but like if you can't see them, like the best way to view this is on like your desktop, laptop, something like that. If you're trying to do this on your phone, some of this stuff might be very, very hard to see.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, currently right now, even though the slide says 72, we currently right now, I believe, have 74 players that are active on our team on the 90-man roster. So we have a lot of space to sign a lot of other players, but we only have $22 million of cap space. So you probably think like, well, how are we going to fill out a 90-man roster? Mm-hmm. Well, that's nothing that anybody has to worry about because of the 51 rule. And if somebody doesn't know the 51 rule, I'll tell you real quick. The top 51 players are the only ones that really count towards the cap. All the other players that are signed underneath that, the lowest rated players out there, they assume they're not going to make the salary or make the team anyway, so they don't count against the cap. All right. So we have plenty of room to sign, plenty of players to get to 90-man roster. Where you're going to see this roster fill out is post-draft. All teams are like that. It happens every single year. You start signing, you go through the draft, you get your draft picks signed on there. We have 5 picks. So at 74, that'll bring us to 79, right? So we will only have 11 more spots. And what you're going to see is a little bit of a push of additional free agency and then signing a lot of undrafted free agents to bring them in as camp bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're looking for that diamond in the rough.
Yep. You know, I was watching a press conference today with Adam Peters.
Yeah.
And the question came up there, Coach, about, they were asking him, so how do you feel about the draft? Because we don't really have that many picks. And they were talking about positioning. And he's like, we have the 29th pick, but I am not afraid to trade down to go get some more picks, to look deeper within the draft, to go get some good talent deep in the draft. So he's actively talking about right now giving up that pick to get more picks.
Yeah, and I'm really good with that actually, because if your guy, who I think to me is James Pierce, right? If James Pierce is there, you pick him. But let's say James Pierce goes a few spots ahead of you. He doesn't fall to you. It doesn't work out the way that you want to. You don't just pick for the sake of picking there, right? Unless you have a real impact player that falls at 29, I say it's extraordinarily smart to trade out of that. Go second, third, because these guys understand deep into this draft what these players are all about and who they are. The average fan looks at the first round, right? When we do our mock drafts, and everybody else does them, they do the first round. And mock drafts get more and more inaccurate as you add a round two.
Oh, Lord, do they ever? Oh, my Lord.
To the point where they're just disgustingly not accurate at all.
Yeah.
But teams have their own draft boards because they're not only look at players based off of like overall value, but they look at players about scheme fits, who best fits into their locker room, what particular skill sets that they're trying to do based off of package plays and different things like that. And say they are looking for a specific kind of players that might be projected around a 7th round pick, but they're actually excited about it because they feel like a hole that they know that they have, and this person possesses that type of skill. So it's just one of those things I always find very interesting. To me, the first round's a little bit of a snoozer for me, even though everybody else is excited about it. I always get excited in the deeper rounds myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look what kind of talent has come out of I mean, Tom Brady, right? I mean, there's just been so much talent that's come out of deeper rounds that no one ever expected that made something of themselves in the league, right?
Yeah.
Outside of all the hype around first round pick, right? Which is all the hype, right? Which a lot of times turns out to be a bust.
And a lot of them turn out to be bust. And here's the other thing.
Busts, right?
And here's the other thing. There are guys every single year that go undrafted that end up becoming Pro Bowlers. They end up in the Hall of Fame. Yep. There's like incredible players that sometimes they get completely overlooked by the draft process. They're brought in, and all of a sudden they just start shining.
Coach Mike, we should probably do an analysis on like the last 10 years of the NFL, analyzing how many guys outside were drafted in the first, second through the 5th round who actually made it to be Pro Bowlers versus how many in the same year cut were first round draft picks that didn't do doink.
Yeah.
That would be a cool stat to look at, right?
Yeah, because what it does, it's almost embarrassing to every scout in the National Football League and to every analyst that's out there. I mean, how many times last year did I absolutely berate how bad analysts were last year? I did it.
And you beat them. You beat them.
I chewed them up last year. And when we did our mock draft, I beat every other single person out there that was out there doing.
Paid analyst.
Making buku money. I beat them. So and that's not saying a whole lot, but I'm telling you, it's like a really good fan who does their homework can almost do just as well as an analyst.
Of course they could. Hey, listen, Jack's got a question.
Yeah.
So it looks like we had meetings with kickers, and what is our opinion of possibly going after Nick Folk?
Yeah, I would be for it. Nick Folk would be a really good one. I know we just re-signed Gonzalez. Good question, by the way. I know we re-signed Gonzalez. I know Siebert is another person that will probably bring in as a camp body if his injury is okay to be. But I do believe that there is going to be a kicking competition. We're just not going to give it to Gonzalez. We will sign another kicker, and there will be competition there.
Interesting.
And
Jack,
so you do get a guy
I don't think we need to bring him in. I think we got our kicker. We move with it. We're going to be replacing during the year. Someone's going to have another hip injury. They got too much sex on the weekend or something. And they're going to throw out a hip,
Well, we had a very unusual year last year.
But
I mean, we went through 6 or 7 kickers last year. That's not normal. Normally, you find your guy and he's good for the whole year. I mean, kickers normally you don't touch a kicker normally.
I don't think we need Folk. We're good.
It kind of depends. It depends on money. It depends on a lot of things. We're not going to overpay for a kicker. We literally have around $23 million available cap space It's not a lot to play with. And there's a couple free agents, which we will talk about, that if we still have the ability to go out there and reach and get, we're going to try to do it. And then we're going to leave a little bit of money to play around with in case somebody else gets cut by somebody. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some wiggle room.
So, Coach, in draft land, with the 29th overall first-round pick, what do you think the 29th first-round pick can get us in other rounds if we trade that pick out? What could we get for it? How many could we get second and third rounds, like one or two of each? What do you really think?
I think we can get a second or third, depending if it's in the later rounds or not. If it's early on,
second or a third, or a second and a third.
A second and a third. Okay. If it's later in the round, if it's early in the round, then it might be like a second and a fifth, second, fifth, and a sixth, somewhere around in there. But like, it'll really depend on what people are willing to part with, and it also depends on, for a team, what's there that they want.
Right. Who's there, right? Yeah.
Right? Because if we're willing to trade out at 29, it's because what we see there is what we don't want. But somebody else has to see something there that they're like, I absolutely have to have this player. Otherwise, I consider my entire draft a failure.
In this draft,
I'm willing to like give up a lot to move up.
This draft class ain't that strong. I mean,
there are some positions, and I'm going to make a case tonight that edge rusher is a very, very strong draft class. Yeah. It is probably the strongest edge draft class.
Been in a while, right? Been in a while.
In at least more than 8 years.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that there are some pretty decent receivers, some secondary guys that are very, very intriguing. One class that it's horrible is quarterback. So I think a lot of people are like shaming this particular draft class because it's weak at quarterback.
Yeah.
But there's so many other positions that are very strong that you can really improve your football team, especially a team like the Commanders when we have our quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to be okay. But good question there, Jack. I appreciate it. So anyway, let's keep moving here. With 5 picks, I agree with Adam Peters, and I'm glad that you pointed out the video and the thing that you read, like the possibility of dropping back. I think it should be very high. High probability that we drop back if the offer's there.
Wide open, according to that interview. And that interview was in on it's just Bowie TV is a good view of it on YouTube. You guys can check it out. It didn't have a lot of viewers. He's a good guy. But it was the owners after the owners meeting day that they interviewed him, and he was Adam Peters seemed to be very, very open to the idea of trading back to get more picks and going deep in the draft to get needs filled. So,
yeah. Now, with their available cap space, there's 2 players. They're old, right? We're talking about 33-year-old players, but these are 2 players that, according to Commanders Wire, this analyst, Brian Manning, and I kind of agree with them. These are 2 players that could fit, that we could get into the Commanders relatively cheap, and they are available. We could sign them.
No, Zadarius is going to the Lions. I'm telling you, they're bringing him back.
Zadarius Smith is with the Lions, but they have not re-signed.
No, he's not. They cut him. But the news today, is they're going to bring him back.
Right? I know that's the news, but until someone signs ink on paper, it's not a done deal. Right? So as long as Zadarius Smith is out there, the Lions can bring him back, but they haven't. The Commanders have a shot at him too, but there's been no connection that we're trying to re-sign him either. But as long as this guy's on the street, he's worth the conversation.
He's worth a sign. Yeah, he is worth a sign.
I'll tell you
what I'm really interested in.
He had 9 sacks last year and 25 pressures on top of that, which could have all turned into sacks. You never know.
Yep.
9 tackles for a loss, 35 tackles, which is good for an edge rusher because usually they're past the rush by the time the running back gets through. So, like, it's hard.
Contributed in a team that was butt hurt last year. The Lions are actually looking to go get that hot end in the draft. But that's not a guarantee they'll get it. And they're talking about adding extra beef in on the edge.
No, I don't care about the Lions.
I know, but I'm just telling you.
I'm talking about Zadarius Smith for the Commanders. So the other one that they talked about was wide receiver Keenan
Allen. That's a buy. That's a buy. Buy.
Yeah, of course it depends how much, right? We're not going to break the bank for a 33-year-old wide receiver. But, man, the guy produced with the Bears last year, and you know what? He's out there on the street. We think we can get him for cheap. And I believe, and I think Shaq would agree, I'd love to hear the fans too, I think we need another wide receiver on this roster.
Yes.
I think we do.
Great pickup,
And to get a guy like that on a 1-year deal, to give another target to throw into the mix, I think is phenomenal. And this guy had 7 touchdowns last year. For a guy who could come in and fill in for us, and for the Bears, that was like more than 50% of their touchdowns.
Yeah,
so like
I can't believe they let him go, to be honest with you. They
they
tried to put the weapons around Campbell to give him a great year, and he flopped, right? And now he's available. And I think with a guy like
the other thing is when you're an older receiver like that, it's not about another team keeping you. It's about whether or not you want to stay there.
Yeah.
Because if you figure like I only got 1 more year to play, you might want to go somewhere where it's competitive, like someone like the Commanders.
Can you see Daniels hooking up with him? Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, you're talking Debo, Keenan Allen, and Scary Terry. That's a wide receiver core, and we still got Brown in the mix, and we still got Luke.
Yeah, Luke's going to be in it. Luke's going to play a lot of special teams.
We got Zach Ertz.
Like Luke right now is going to is probably going to be our kick returner and punt returner.
Yeah,
because Zacchaeus is gone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good old Luke McCaffrey.
But I think Keenan Allen, Debo Samuel, and Scary Terry, and Brown. Is it Diami or the other Noah? It's Noah Brown.
It's Noah Brown. Diami's with the Jags.
That's a pretty solid receiver core as long as everyone stays healthy.
Yeah.
As long as they stay healthy, that's a professional Pro Bowl core right there that you're giving to a sophomore quarterback who proved himself in year 1. That's an upgrade.
True.
That's an upgrade.
So I know this
one's hard to read. Keenan Allen.
So I know this one's hard to read, but this is the offensive part.
Who do we get? We also got the guy from Dallas. What's his name?
You're talking about Dante Fowler.
No, we got a receiver.
Oh, you're from. I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's the Dallas receiver?
Oh, Gallup, Michael Gallup. I got it right here on the screen.
Yeah.
So, like right up here on the screen with Michael Gallup that's on here and stuff like that, and Noah Brown. A lot of people think KJ Osborne is going to make a push to it. Mm-hmm. I just see room. Like there's room for another receiver to come into this room and win a job for sure.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a high priority, but if you talk to Shaq will be like, no, it's a high priority. We need to have another receiver on this roster.
But I mean, you're talking Gallup, Keenan Allen, Debo Samuel.
If we get Keenan Allen, I think Keenan Allen's that guy.
I mean,
and that'll complete our room.
They're all 1-year deals, but hell, that's all you need to get to a Super Bowl is 1 year. I mean, is that what they're playing for?
Well, we have very few draft picks. So we are going to be looking for somebody to be a stopgap for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who could push it over, right? So Debo Samuel was the big addition.
That's the somebody's.
So, all right, so this shows you the offensive roster. In my opinion, we could roll with the offensive roster the way it is, but believe me, we're not done.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that we could pick up another wide receiver, as I said. There's probably another possibility that we could pick up another offensive lineman somewhere in the process. Even though we got Laramie Tunzel, which I think is a great pickup, I'm a little concerned about how much we gave up for him, but
yeah. I do not like
he's going to hold down the left side, and that was our biggest weakness last year was left tackle. We got that resolved now.
Well, I got to bring up something here, Coach, too. I got to bring something that I saw and that I love, and I can't exactly put my finger on it why, but I think they made a brilliant move on re-signing Michael Dieter. And I know you're poo-pooing it a bit, but Dieter is a 6-year guy. Started with the Dolphins. He's 6'6" and 315. He's lean. He's got 90 games, and he played all 17 games last year. And he's been in 3 playoff games. I think he's an extremely good backup because Biadasz was on and he was off.
So Biadasz is going to be a starter. So
he's going to be the front guy, right? But
he's going to be it. I'm not that high on Deere, but like, okay, we signed him, great. The one I'm excited about in depth on here is Herbig that we got. Nate Herbig we picked up from Pittsburgh.
So talk to me about him.
Because that dude has probably about 30-some starts under his belt in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking for a little bit of a change. I think he has the ability to compete with Allegretti for the starting job at left guard.
Well, we definitely need someone to do that, right?
And I think
Allegretti's got to go.
I think Herbig is that guy. We'll see what happens, but like I am willing to go out on a limb and saying Herbig could beat him out for that job.
Interesting.
If he comes in and has a strong camp and shows what he's capable of doing, I see the starting lineup looking very different than what's on this paper. What I see is going to happen is it will be Tunzel left tackle, left guard will be Herbig, center will be Badass, right guard will be Wiley, who will move from right tackle to right guard, and then I believe the right tackle will be Brandon Coleman, the guy who was rookie last year at left tackle. I think we'll move him to right. And I believe that will be the starting lineup. Now, there's been talk of like, will Trent Scott, who came in who was a right tackle last year, who's now being listed as a right guard, who really showed off at right guard, filling in for Cosme, does he fill that gap initially?
Yeah.
And Wiley stays at right tackle. There's so many things, but what you don't hear that's really in the mix of all these conversations is you don't really hear about Dieter. Dieter is a backup center. I think, hey, he's going to be competing for a roster spot. And if we start bringing in another lineman or two, he could be in jeopardy of losing his roster spot.
I'm telling you, he's the sleeper. He's the sleeper re-sign that no one expected. And
I didn't expect it.
I know, but just listen. Listen to Large Sarge.
Large Sarge.
I know my lineman. And this guy is a keeper.
All right. I trust you, man.
He is going to show up this year when we need him because Biadasz is on and off. I mean, he was part of the offensive line to help C.J. Stroud earn the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
So Shaq is on the line. And yes. I love his comment. Bringing Brandon Schreff back would be an amazing idea. I didn't want him to ever leave. That dude was a Pro Bowler at right guard before.
Yeah.
And with Cosme being injured, we could bring Bram Schreff in. He'll come in and he'll immediately take the starting line.
Is he available?
He's available. So, like, I don't know why we haven't decided to bring him back.
Yeah, why wouldn't
I would love to because he's been the whole time that he went away for the past 3 years. He was healthy all the past 3 years. Like, he might be asking for too much money than what we could afford, but I would love to be able to bring him back. I really would.
Hey, Jeff is talking about Desmond Watson, and he could fill a big gap. Jeff, put in the comment. Where is Desmond Watson? I'm not familiar with the guy. Who is he? What team is he on? Let us know in the comments. All right.
So, all right, let's go to defense real quick. We're bringing there hasn't been any changes from last week to this one.
Yeah.
I believe that our number one need on this team is the edge rusher. We're bringing back Armstrong. We're bringing in Clellan Ferrell. To me, Clellan Ferrell should not be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
He should not. We need to bring another guy in that takes that spot. And I wouldn't mind if we bring another guy in that could beat out Armstrong too. That's too much to ask when you only have 5 draft picks. I know. But talking about who we just talked about a couple slides ago, bringing as an edge rusher and possibly drafting one, we can bring in more competition. And I will tell you, we should be able to shore up this defensive line. Now, I disagree with what we have on here. I don't believe that Kinlaw is a starter.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be Dron Payne and Johnny Newton. I believe Johnny Newton has earned that spot. He's not going to lose it to Kinlaw.
Jeff is saying Desmond Watson's 464 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Is that right?
Jeff,
that can't be right.
464 pounds. No.
What
does he run a 9-second 40?
That dude probably can't even run a 40.
Back, Jeff. I got to hear about a 464. It's 464
right,
lineman. Come on, Jeff. Give me some more details.
The other thing that we need another corner and we need a safety. Yeah. And so we're going to be talking about that when it comes to the draft.
And Shaq is saying we got to get rid of St. Juice. He's done with St. Juice.
Yeah.
St. Juice. A 460-pound guy did a 5'9", 40? Okay. You got my attention. Jeff, you got my attention. 460-pound, 4 pounds of beef that can do a 5'9", 40 is impressive.
Was he on oxygen when he was done?
Probably. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'll Google him. Yeah, he made it 464, and he's going to be a first or second round pick. Wow. Okay.
Good I'm really interested in everybody else's comments, man. Like, here's where I see our top needs are at. And I'm not saying that they're in any particular order. They're in the order that I think that they should be in. But they're debatable.
Yeah.
I believe our needs are edge rusher, corner, wide receiver, safety, and O-lineman. Now, if I had to rearrange this myself, and I know people would disagree with me, it's okay. You could be wrong. I would say it would be edge, corner, safety. Then maybe I would probably throw lineman. I'd probably put wide receiver in number 5. Now,
I was going to say, if we're addressing wide receiver through free agency, we can get rid of wide receiver in the draft, and we go to Marion Hampton because we need a running back.
So we're broke. Running back, I would probably put number 6 or number 7 of needs, right? So
it needs to go up. I know you're a B-Rob fan, Coach. He's broke. We have no run game.
So I will tell you, there are 2 things that make up our run game, and none of them are B-Rob. Right? Number 1 is Jaden Daniels. And number 2 is Deebo Samuel, who we signed. I watch a lot of film on Deebo Samuel, and you know what one of his strengths is? Running the freaking football.
That's right. He's amazing.
They do a lot of in motion handoffs and all this crazy stuff that they've done with Deebo when he was in San Francisco. Yep. That dude runs the ball a lot.
Yep. And I think we'll use him the same way too. Now that we have an improved O-line, and our O-line has definitely improved, but we cannot have Jaden Daniels be running the ball like he did this past year. We need something better than B-Rob. B-Rob is broke. Something is, and you know what? Maybe he'll have a great offseason and come back healthy, right?
You never know, right?
But we need a running back in the draft. We need something new.
So with the 29th overall pick, these are what I tried to do was predict who might be there. Mm-hmm. I say that might be there at number 29 where we could fill needs. And I tried to be honest about every position. So I believe that there's 3 different edge rushers that potentially could be there. James Pierce, Vic Scorton, and Mike.
Lions are looking at Scorton too.
Now, Scorton, when we did our mock draft last week, that's who we picked, was Nick Scorton.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When we did our mock draft. We're going to do another mock draft at the end of this show, so make sure you stay on with us so you can participate in the mock draft and have a vote on who we're going to pick. Yeah. All right? We'll see who falls to us. I really like Maxwell Hairston. I've been watching film on him. I've been watching film for a wide receiver on Luther Burden. Although I do like that one kid that's out of Maryland. But I think he's more of a second round pick kind of guy, second or third round pick. I am very big on Malachi Starks. I'm going to show you film today on Malachi Starks on one of the plays that he made that still has my head.
The skin screwed up by letting Chin go. Yeah, we have a huge need at safety.
And Malachi Starks is there. I'm going to be up and down for Malachi Starks.
Coach, how do you let Chin go? The guy he's a demon at safety. How do you let him go? Don't tell me we don't have the money. What was the reasoning? He's not. The
reasoning was yes, he was great on being able to assist with the run and medium coverage. Hit like a freaking linebacker.
A freight train.
Like a freight train, right? But his biggest thing was he got burnt on some deeper passes. Right. And they were like, and his price tag was too high. Now, all those are debated.
By $1 million, by $2 million, how much? We have room.
No. Like, I don't know how much he signed for. Somebody could look that up real quick, put it in the comments section. It's big money. So it was more than what we were willing to pay. So
unbelievable. So
we let him go. So, but I will tell you, if Malachi Starks is there, we don't pass on that dude. Josh Simmons
we got a chance to get him at 29. You think we got a chance to get Starks at 29?
Everybody on here are guys that I believe that can fall to that area.
Okay.
It's going to be close, but they could potentially fall. I did a mock draft earlier today by myself, and I actually did two. One, James Pierce fell to me, so obviously I'm going to take James Pierce if he follows to me. The second mock draft I did by myself, James Pierce was off the board, and Malachi Starks was there. So I picked Malachi.
Yeah, Jack is saying it was $10 million for Chin, which I don't think was too steep. I don't
if it was $10 million and we paid that, we would now have $13 million available cap space, with more than half of that being reserved for the rookie pool, about $7 million. So that would only give us about $6 million to play with. We'd be essentially done.
I hate it when you're right about the finances there, Coach. I hate it.
Everybody wants everybody, but you got to make it work in the money. The money's got to work.
Well, we still had $6 million. I mean, what the hell? You could go get an edge guy for that. You could get Za'Darius for that. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right. So this is a really cool chart. Now, it's going to be hard for people to read unless you're reading on the big screen, but this is eye-opening. When I tell you, like, this is an extremely powerful edge rush class, it's because it is an extremely powerful edge rush class. What you see here on this chart is, on the left is the pass rush win rate. How often does an edge rusher win on the outside coming in? And this chart goes back to 2017, right? So we're talking about the past 8 years. The number one guy since 2017 in the National Football League to come out of college with the highest win rate was Nick Bosa. I think he proved his worth. The number two guy is Pierce. If Pierce is available at number 29, we cannot pass on Pierce.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now, Abdul Carter is number 3 on the list. Abdul Carter is going to go in the top 5 pick because he does more than just pass rush. That dude's a beast at every particular category known to freaking man. So it's very misleading to say he's number 3 on this list, because this is only one category. He leads in 10 categories. He's going to be off the board probably in the top couple of picks of the draft.
Young is number 7 on the list?
Chase Young, coming out of college, was number 7. But what I want you to see,
what a disappointment he turned out to be.
Yeah, he's going to be a bust. Now, the Nick Sorton guy,
he placed higher than Myles Garrett? Wow.
And Michael Parsons. And Michael Parsons.
I love this chart.
But you can see by the amount of green are the ones in this particular draft class, to have 3 guys in the top 7 in the past 8 years. That's a strong
edge
draft
great
class.
Chart there, Coach. Great chart.
So
there's some good names on there too, man.
For me, as long as we get one of these guys, And I would love for Pierce to fall to us.
Look at Colin Farrell, where he falls. We signed him. And you said, no, poo-poo, I don't like it. Look where Colin Farrell falls.
Yeah, but he's a little bit older now.
All right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's on there.
I'm just saying.
Right? But we could do better and get somebody younger and bring him in there, right?
TJ Watt got cut. TJ Watt.
Remember, these are grades. These are grades coming out of college.
Right.
These are not grades in the National Football
League. No, I know. But again, TJ Watt.
Because if you look at their National Football League grades, guys like Chase Young is not going to show up on the list.
Right.
TJ
Watt is available, apparently. Apparently, the Steelers are cutting him.
Yeah. So another reason why you might want to hold on to some money, right? And not spend all your money right now.
So TJ Watt, we would be dangerous. We would be really dangerous with TJ Watt. Oh, dear Lord.
But he's getting a little bit older now, too, right?
But we're into that game. We love signing older guys to one-year deals, apparently.
We do. But when we look at the draft, I'm telling you, if Pierce is there at number 29, it is a no-brainer. And
where's Zadarius Smith? I don't see Zadarius Smith on the list. I don't see him.
Who?
Zadarius Smith. He's not even on the list.
Nope.
He was that poor out of college. Wow, that's insane. He's not.
All right. So in our very first mock draft that we did, I don't know why this thing got cut off like it did. Sorry about that, fans. But we went with Nick Scorden. Now we're getting ready to do another mock draft right now, and we're going to do it in there. But actually, before we get to that, I want to do two things. One, you had something about Scary Terry that you want to talk about, so I want to bring that up and tell me what you wanted to say about that.
Well, I mean, the answer to that question is look at that. Just everyone watching, look at that photo. That's the most insane, and that was a catch for a touchdown, by the way. But look at how covered that guy is. Look at how he's stretched out, and look at his positioning, where his face is looking to the quarterback, where his hand position is, and that ball getting ready to drop in for that TD in a game that we won.
It's a beautiful picture.
Is that not one of the best NFL pictures you've ever seen? An action photo frozen in a moment of time. I just want to say, Scary Terry is pretty scary. Look at the hand spread. He's just a tiny guy, but look at that hand spread. That ball ain't going nowhere, baby, except into their bread basket.
All right, I want to show you a film.
Just needed to share a photo with everyone out there.
I appreciate that, Lord.
How perfect is the pass from Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I appreciate that photo. And I tell you what,
I'm a fan.
Jack says, Terry, they're negotiating with Terry right now for a contract extension.
Yeah.
And I believe that he could get it. And I would love for us to not only extend him, but push more of his money out. Free up a little bit more money this year for us.
He's going to ask for a guarantee. Coach, he's asking for a guarantee. That's where the whole league is going. You mean more money guaranteed up front?
Give Terry guaranteed money, but push it out. It's guaranteed is still guaranteed. But, let's try to free up a little bit of cap space.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Malachi Starks, I want to get back to that because I'm very, very high at him. I want to show you a film of him.
All right, let's watch.
Excuse me, everybody. I'm having this bad cough.
Drink some Coca-Cola. You'll be better.
Ooh. Let's see this film because for those who don't pay attention to a lot of college players, this is why if this safety is there, why I've fallen in love with him. Here we go. Let's watch this film.
Let's see what you got, Coach.
Where Starks made an impressive debut against Oregon 2 years ago. That is absolutely ridiculous by Malachi Starks. I mean, he played it just like a wide receiver.
Okay,
he's in coverage. Eyes back to the inside immediately. Stays in phase with the wide receiver. Times his jump perfectly.
Look at that defense,
and rolls
baby.
and high points that ball before securing it.
He had tacky mac on those gloves.
That is freaking insane to have that kind of coverage skills.
That's insane.
Like, that is insane. So, anyway.
Wow.
I always said, if he's there at 29,
all right.
Pierce is there, or I know Georgia. I know Jeff. I would have expected Jeff to say Georgia sucks. Jeff is a Gators fan. And
Jeff, you cracked me up, man.
And Jeff, I on film, Jeff, of him doing plays like this against Florida, but I restrained myself. This is against Clemson. You can be okay, man. You can breathe.
Yeah, no, seriously. That is one of the prettiest picks I've ever seen in the history of football, NFL, you name it. That's one of the prettiest jump, extension, snatch out of the air picks I've ever seen. Seriously, that's great film there, Coach.
Yeah, and Jack,
okay.
And Jack, I'm going to agree with you. It's not some analysts, because this guy right here says it too. We need to go more defense in this draft.
Yeah, we do.
This needs to be like, I will tell you, I would be okay with our offense being set the way it is. We're going to add more pieces. Don't get me wrong. So Shaq, don't beat me up. We're going to add more pieces on offense, but like, we need help on defense. We need a corner. We need an edge. We probably need to bring in another linebacker. We need a lot of help on defense.
If we had the exact same offense from last year going into this year, but we improved everything on defense, we'd be a Super Bowl contender.
Yes.
We're scoring 27 plus points a game last year. That's enough to get you deeper into the playoffs.
Yeah.
The issue we had was the D. So I agree.
Hey, Jeff, I agree with you. Defense wins champions, but I will also tell you in our particular division, we have to be able to stop Philly, and we don't have enough firepower to stop Philly right now. We need more help to be able to stop. Jalen Hurts proved it. Yeah. Saquon Barkley rushed for over 200 yards against us all 3 times we played him. Can you imagine that? A running back rushing for over 200 yards 3 consecutive times against you. Yeah, that's what happened to us.
That's hurtful.
We have to have a solution to that. So, all right, let's get into mock draft time.
Mock draft. All
right, let me know when you can see my screen.
No, I can't see it. Even I can't see it.
You can't see it?
Can you make our picture smaller and that screen bigger?
Yeah, I could try.
I know you can do it. Coach, because you're the coach.
How's that?
There you go.
You got a little bit better?
Yeah, oh, it's way better. Yeah.
All right, let's try.
They don't want to see us anyway. They want to see what we're talking about.
Well, I could take us completely off of it.
Yeah, take us off and put it up. Take us off.
I just don't know if you would hear us because I think our voice is tied to our picture, unfortunately. Sorry, fans, you got to look at our ugly mugs.
Wait a minute. Try it once. I don't think so.
It does. It does. I've already tried it.
Oh, all right.
We got to go with this. All right. So with the mock draft, what we're going to do is we're only going to do the first round. This is through Pro Football Focus is the draft sim that I'm going with. There's other draft sims out there. I might choose another one next week just to be fair and spread the love a little bit. But we did Pro Football Focus last week. We're going to do it again this week, which has us at the 29th pick. What I did for our settings was I basically said 1 round. That's it. And we're going to start the draft. Okay? It's flipping through extraordinarily fast to get us to the 29th pick. Boom. And look who is available for us. James Pierce.
Wow.
Is there any reason, and I want everybody, because I could draft him right now because he's available on there. Is there anybody that thinks in this scenario that we should not draft James Pierce? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Tell me anybody. Come on. Speak up.
Pierce. Wow. You know, despite what I heard from Adam Peters today, if Pierce falls to us, that's something we just have to do.
We just have to do it. Like, to me,
but will we trade out before that, anticipating not having him fall to us? Or do you think we wait and be patient and it's a last-second trade deal, Coach?
Yeah, I think what you do is you're talking to a couple of different owners where if he's off the board, you already have something teed up. But again, somebody else has got to look at what's on the board and say, I want that player. Like, I have to trade up to get that player, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, in this scenario, James Pierce just fell to us. To me, this is a no-brainer pick.
Yeah, I agree.
You take this edge rusher because going back to the other slide that I showed you before, the second best edge rusher to come out of college football since 2017 behind Nick Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot afford not to get him, especially with our edge rushing issues.
Yeah. But again, like you said, it depends if he falls to us, right? There are a lot of other teams who are looking for edge.
In this scenario, he just fell to us.
Yeah.
To me, this is the easiest part of the draft.
So go back up in your mock draft and tell me what other edge guys who passed up on him that needs edge, like the Lions or.
Yeah, we'll go over that because at the end it'll show you all the players for the first round. All right, so we can go through that after that, but I think.
Yeah, Jack says we don't want Pierce to go to Philly. That's for sure. I agree, Jack.
I think we go ahead and draft him here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cannot let him go to Philly.
No, you can't. No.
We draft him here, and we let the rest of the draft play out.
I think that's a BS mock draft. There's no way Pierce is going to go down that low in the first round. He's got to go.
He's
higher.
projected to go down that low. So, like, be somewhere in that area.
Wow.
So it's not BS. It's just one of those things that can it happen or can it not? So this is what it had to happen. Had going.
Dear Lord, Coach, you need to get rid of that cough. Here, let me put my peepers on.
So Cam Ward went number 1 to Tennessee.
Yeah, I see that actually. I don't doubt that at all.
Right. Travis Hunter going number 2 to Cleveland. I could see that. Mason Graham. Like, I don't have a problem with all these things. Like Abdul Carter, that edge rusher.
Michael Williams went.
That was the guy I was telling you that is so dominant in so many other categories, even though he's third on the list that we showed you. Yeah. He's dominant in every other category. He is definitely, to me, Abdul Carter is definitely a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
He may go number 3 to the Giants, which would be scary because I don't want to face him with the Giants.
Yeah. Right.
But he can go there. So I will tell you, Shaq thinks the Titans should take Abdul Carter number 1. And then maybe go out and get somebody like Kirk Cousins and not go for Cam Ward. Because Cam Ward, if you compare him to other draft classes, probably shouldn't be the first overall pick. I just throw that out there. But because our quarterback class is so weak this year, he's going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, he should be. He should be. And he looked good enough to be a number 1 pick, to be honest with you.
I kind of like Shaq's idea. We talked about it on the phone today. Like, if you went and you said, you know what, Abdul Carter is a generational type of player, you pick him number 1, and then you go sign a guy like Kirk Cousins, and Tennessee Titans, you're going to be okay. As a matter of fact, that would probably be a stronger move. But all the analysts are probably correct. It'll probably be Cam Ward.
Wait, Jeff is saying Cam Ward's not a team player.
You gotta take everything that Jeff tells you with a grain of salt because he's a Florida guy. He's always put a crap on. He's always put Florida State and the University of Miami because he's a Gators fan.
That's hilarious.
So I don't know if that's true about Cam Ward, but Jeff, I love you, man. You might be right. I don't know. This one's kind of interesting. That Deion Sanders' kid goes to the Jets at number 7. I find that kind of thing. Will Campbell, the tackle I really like out of LSU, going to the Saints. That's interesting. Jihad Campbell, amazing linebacker, Alabama, going to Dallas. I do not like that at all. I do not like that at all. Mike Green, I think that him going at number 16 is too high. I actually would think that James Pierce would come off the board before Mike Green. So I'm not sure I agree with the Cardinals picking him there. That might be where James Pierce goes, where James Pierce doesn't fall to us. So I find that kind of interesting. When I look at, Donovan Izaraku going to Tampa Bay as an edge rusher, that's interesting. Michael Williams from Georgia. Like a lot of these guys, I see there's a big possibility James Pierce goes before these guys. So it'll be interesting. Malachi Starks in this one went to the Chargers at 22. He was the kind of guy that if he's there, if he falls to 29, I think we should take him. I just showed you the video on that dude. That dude's amazing.
Yeah, he's that was crazy.
So
is that his like highlight? How does the rest of the season look?
Yeah, he's a very, very solid safety. Let me tell you, he's just really, really all around. That was like his big highlight play, but he's got a lot of highlights.
All right.
I'm a big Malachi Starks.
And he's got speed. He can't get burned deep. He's got better speed than Chin had.
Yeah, I think he runs a 4.3.
Okay, a 4.3.
Yeah, he's freaking
impressive.
Good.
Okay, yeah. Well,
and like what the analyst said during that film. I mean, he plays corner like he's a wide receiver. Like he'll go and he'll be in coverage, but he's going for the ball like he's supposed to catch it as a receiver.
All right, Jeff is jumping back at you saying, you know what? Ward, he played the first half of the bowl game and refused to play the second half, and Miami lost the game. He's like, look at his history. He's not a team player.
Okay.
Well, but it's very good that he's gone first in the draft to a competitor that we don't have to worry about, right?
Yeah. If that's the case, he could go to the Giants at number 3.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. I mean, Jeff, that's a good point. I mean, what the heck is going on? Is he a prima donna? Is he a prima donna before he even gets to the NFL? And you know how that works out with quarterbacks in the locker room. Not well, right?
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about college players getting paid now. A lot of them are already wealthy now by the time they make it. Like these kids now are making millions of dollars in college. Yeah. So that some of them are prima donnas by the time they get to the NFL because they've already got fat bank accounts already.
That's a shame. That's just a shame.
And so it's really changed. It changes the
attitude.
The attitude and because some of them
come from college and be hungry and want to prove yourself. You already got a $2 million paycheck. You already got the rings. You got the gold chain at $3,040 an ounce now. You got that. You got the Merc in the driveway. You got a house.
We are probably a decade away of people retiring out of college football already wealthy, thinking that they don't need the NFL.
Okay, that is a crazy discussion that we should have on next week. I don't disagree with you. But that's a crazy discussion.
Because if you go through 4 or 5 years of college and you're making $10 million a year, you can be like, I'm retired. And like, I don't really care if I walk the stage or not, but I'm already retired at 22 years old.
Buy me a restaurant, a home in the Bahamas, a yacht, and I'm done.
But there's like, why would I go to the NFL? Yeah, I think we should do a show on that. Actually,
that is a really good point. I'm so glad you brought that up. That is, oh man, I would hate to see the game turn into that. I miss the 70s.
Yeah,
broken teeth, broken arms, broken fingers, broken toes. Tape it up. Get your ass back on the field.
Those days are long gone.
No stadium for you. No dome. Get back in the snow and the cold and go do your damn job.
Those days are long over, man.
Those days are way over.
That football doesn't exist no more.
Man. The man left the game. You know what I mean? The manliness. There's some swagger to that, There are still some guys that are holding the swagger, though. You know what I mean? They're holding it. But,
yeah.
If we get in that position, Coach, we're dead. The NFL's dead if we get in that position.
I will tell you what, man. It's just it's very, very interesting to kind of see the game as it changes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, guys, that is the mock draft. So James Pierce fell to us. I will tell Adam Peters, who we know watches the show every single week. Adam, if James Pierce falls to you, you draft him. If he ain't there, I'm okay with you trading out. But if James Pierce is there at 29, you draft him.
So wait a minute, Coach. Your advice to the Commanders is you hold out to see if Pierce will fall. If Pierce goes before you, you immediately trade your picks out to get lower picks and
you better be working the phones.
Okay, that's your call, right?
That's my call.
Okay.
If James Pierce comes
off
the board,
you all heard this from the coach. You all heard this.
If James Pierce comes off the board, you start working the phones. Now, if you don't get the deal that you want, that's where you're coming out ahead on it. Teams are going to wait till that pick before they turn the card in because their guy might come off the board to pick before you, right?
Right.
But if your pick is there, then you should have something already teed up to write on a card and turn it in, right? But if James Pierce keeps falling, and he falls to 29 like he just did in our mock draft, you draft him. Yeah, you don't think twice. You as a matter of fact, you should already have a card on your desk already filled out with his name on it. So if he falls, you can immediately turn it in.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Jack's got a comment that I don't even understand, Jack. I don't know. But Jack says, I'm predicting the NFL will have 49 teams in 10 to 15 years. I don't see that, Jack. I just don't see that. But
49 teams.
49.
Where do you get 49 from?
I don't know where that's coming from. Do you
think I will say that Roger Goodell
the NFL will expand to more teams?
So this question came up a couple of years ago with Roger Goodell. And Roger Goodell said that he thought 32 teams was the right number because they were looking at raising it to 34 by adding 2 more teams, and that they were looking at potentially one of them being an international team. And the international team that they were looking at was in Mexico City.
International team? They only play what?
Yeah, and they were looking at a team in Mexico City because every time we go to Mexico City, they sell out wildly, and that they think that the economy in Mexico City can support it. So have a team in Mexico. No big deal with time zone changes, things like that. It's a lot different when you start talking about a team like in Europe because a lot of teams have been talking London and things like that. But
I would think London before anywhere else, to be honest. Because
the problem with London is you would have to manipulate the schedule to do that because if I was a coach of London, you better put me 4 games on the road where I can keep them in hotels in the United States and I can get their clock on some time zone in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? And then when I fly back to London, I want to get them back on their own sleep schedule and I want them home for 4 games.
Yep.
So
there's no way we're going to go to an odd number, though. If we increase teams, it'll be even numbers.
It'll be even numbers.
It will never be an odd number. So I disagree with you on that, Jack, 49. If there's an increase and it comes, it'll be in even numbers.
Yeah, and
so
I know
London, Toronto, Mexico City.
Yeah, and I agree with Jack that those are probably the 3 cities, but I would probably venture to say Mexico City would probably be first, only from the aspect that I believe they actually have a stronger market than Toronto. But London, I think, would be the ultimate favorite, but London would make scheduling. Scheduling's already a very, very tough animal with 32 teams every year in the rotation schedule that they have. And throwing London into that equation complicates things.
And Brazil this year was amazing. Brazil was even though the players hated it, it was great for the NFL. The numbers, the stadium was oversold, blah, blah, blah. The players actually hated it. They didn't want to do it, and they were not comfortable there. But wow.
I think that there's room for international teams. In the United States, I can't, I can't see too many things. Like people say like another team needs to be back in St. Louis. A team needs to be back in Oakland, blah, blah, blah. Oakland, I think, is too far gone right now. A lot of things got to change in Oakland before Oakland gets a team back. St. Louis, I think, is possible, but like St. Louis has got to change a little bit and actually fill a stadium if they get a football team back, because they weren't doing that very good when the Rams were there.
Well, I don't know how you all feel.
The Cardinals.
Yes, Large Sarge has got to put it out there. I am not for having an international team. It's an American sport. It needs to stay in America. America, America, USA, America. That's it.
Yeah, but here's the dilemma when I talk to some of my European friends out there. They're like, how do y'all call yourselves the world champions? You're just an American sport.
NFL, that's how.
They're like, they're like, it's the National Football League, so it's for your nation, and it's only American teams playing. Like, why don't you call them, why are you saying you're world champions?
Oh, whatever.
So he's just like,
make your own little league and go do your thing. Whatever.
But
it's America.
It's America.
It's America. We're the world champs. The Super Bowl champion is the world champion.
World champions. We might as well be universe champions. We're champions of the universe. Champions of the galaxy.
But that's actually a really cool point. It's like, yeah, we do call it world champions, and it's not like soccer, right? Or
it's not like soccer, man.
Football, right? Where there is genuinely a world league, right? Everyone plays. So yeah, I know, I get it.
So
can't be world champions if no one in the only people in the world that can compete are American teams, right?
Yeah,
it's a misnomer to say you're a world champion of a sport that's only in your own country.
We're world champs.
Woof.
Where are you gonna go? We're gonna go to
American attitude. It's our sport, of course. We're the world.
We all know we're the center of the universe.
American bravado.
Whatever. Yeah,
I know.
We're full of ourselves.
So, Coach, give me a score, Coach. How are we doing so far in free agency, from A to F? How are we doing so far?
I would probably give us a solid B.
Man, I'm at a C.
Why?
Because I think we overpaid for a couple guys.
Like who?
We gave away too much guaranteed money. We should have more cap space. I don't mind the picks. The picks I'm okay with, but losing Dante Fowler, I think, was a mistake. And losing Chin was a mistake. I think they should have made. I think Allen was going to happen no matter what, because there's some things that we just don't know about that are going on in that locker room. He's been gone for a year and a half, basically, mentally, right? He wanted out. And when a team says, hey, feel free to trade yourself, I mean, that tells you something is not happening correctly in the locker room. There's something behind the scenes that we just will never know, right? We're not inside. We don't know. So, okay, whatever. And to pay him would have been $1 million more to keep him, but he was a rotten apple on the tree. So, all right, we replaced him, but we paid $30 million.
So the only pick I had an issue with was Kinlaw.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that. I'm okay with Tunzel. Tunzel was going to cost a lot. We needed a strong left tackle. If he can pan out for the next 3 years, I think it's worth it. I would rather get a guy like Brandon Schreff back.
That to me sounds like an optimal deal.
I hear your point on Jeremy Shin. I was not happy about that one either. That's why I can't give him an A.
You got to keep Fowler. You got to keep Shin. But you can't let them both go. I'm having psychosis about losing Chase Young and Sweat. I'm okay
with Dante. I was okay with Dante Fowler because I disagree with you and Shaq on this point. Dante Fowler was a one-trick pony. He was straight up a pass rusher on passing.
And it was a great trick. If we added a second on the side, that's hard to stop.
So that's what we did last year, and it wasn't enough. So the issue that we have is, yes, he got his sacks, right? 10.5 sacks. Great on you. But I need more out of you than 10.5 sacks. If you're going to be a defensive edge rusher, I need you to contribute a lot heavier in stopping run run passes. I need you to increase your overall things, and I need you to be more of an every down player. That was not Dante Fowler. And the big thing with Dante Fowler is he didn't want to stay. He did not want to stay. And that's what fans don't want to understand. He was from Dallas. He kind of agreed to come this year because of the whole Dallas connection with Adam Peters and Joe Witt and la-da-da. But after being here for a year, he wanted to go home. So that was probably the biggest thing. So I wish Dante Fowler all the best, except for when he plays us.
Yeah. Jeff is saying you don't like him because he's from Florida.
Plus, he's from Florida. He sucks. Thank you. Oh. Thank you very much for pointing that out to me, buddy.
Oh, man.
I love Jeff, man.
I love our fans.
Yeah, he's from freaking Florida. What else do you need to say?
Our guys are great. Unbelievable.
God, I love it, man. God bless you there, Jeff. All right, guys. That's it. That's for the show for tonight. We love you guys. Thank you so much for participating. We'll be on next week. This is Football Psych, baby, and we're out of here. Peace.
Sarge out.
Down to the Redskins. Let's go, baby. Let's go.